Hello, and welcome to another Crack-a-Pack. Today, we will be opening our third play booster from Secrets of Strixhaven and making a pack one pick one as though we were in a draft. I will read through each card for you so you can sit back and relax. And then at the end, we'll make a draft pick together. So let's grab our pack and get right into it. First up, we have Wander Off. It is 3 and a black for an instant, at common. Exile target creature. This place may be the Titan's grave, but if you aren't careful, it can be yours as well. Professor Delian Fell. I love this card. Dig Site Inventory is a single white for a sorcery at common. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains vigilance until end of turn. And flashback for a white. I checked my pack twice before we left campus, so why do I feel like I forgot something? Hydro Channeler is 1 and a blue for a 1/3 Merfolk Wizard at common. Tap, add blue. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. Pay 1 and tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. Only when they can defy the laws of nature can a Quandrix student claim to have mastered a spell. This card has proved to be better than I expected for sure. Rearing Embermare is 4 and a red for a 4/5 Horse Beast at common. With reach and haste. Terrible creatures. A restorer's worst enemy is fire. Oskir the Reconstructor. Barag Barrage is 1 and a green for an instant at common. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn if you've cast another instant or sorcery spell this turn. Then it deals damage equal to its power to up to one target creature an opponent controls. I had to leave Duridur to attend Strixhaven, so I brought a piece of home with me. Yeah, good bite spell. Terrafractal is X green blue for a 1/0 dinosaur fractal at common with flying, and this creature enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. When this creature enters, you gain 2 life. Be careful when traversing the Paradox Gardens. Not all experiments are perfectly contained. Professor Berta. A+ to whoever named this creature. End of the Hunt is 1 into black for a sorcery at uncommon. Target opponent exiles a creature or planeswalker they control with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Just because the Arik have gone silent doesn't mean their mage hunters have vanished. Yeah, seems good. Flow State is 1 into blue for a sorcery at uncommon. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. If there is an instant card and a sorcery card in your graveyard, instead put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So, kinda like a mini stock up. Startled Relic Sloth is 2 red-white for a 4/4 Sloth Beast at uncommon with trample and lifelink. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Should your sloth become agitated, remove all valuables from the immediate area and wait for it to tire out. This will not take long. Lorehold Student Handbook. This card is so good. Trample and lifelink on a 4/4 can be so backbreaking. Topiary Lecturer is 2 into green for a 1/2 Elf Druid at uncommon with increment and tap. Add an amount of green mana equal to this creature's power. Before we can understand nature, we must learn to nurture it. The rare is Comforting Counsel. It is 1 into green for an enchantment at rare. Whenever you gain life, put a growth counter on this enchantment. As long as there are 5 or more growth counters on this enchantment, creatures you control get +3/+3. In the grief that followed the invasion, Willow Dusk's office turned into an unofficial hideaway for overwhelmed students. So, as I talked about in my pre-release video, I don't think this card is good at all. I'm willing to believe that it might be better in draft than sealed, because you can try and build around it a bit more, but I don't know. I think the early turns of the games are really crucial, and you need to be developing your board or removing something from your opponent's side, like something meaningful, rather than messing around and casting this enchantment that doesn't do anything. So, I am not on board with this, but let me know what you think. Our mystical archive card is Spell Pierce. It is a single blue for an instant at uncommon. Counter target non-creature spell, unless its controller pays 2. One does not need to be stronger than their opponent. You only need to force them to play their hand before you've shown your own. Forces of Negation, a study in counter magic. That is incredibly true. We've got a foil, mystical archive, locust spray. It is a single black for an instant at uncommon. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, and cycling for a single black. A suit of armor is only as good as it seems. Vanity Lost, a Knight's Folly. We've got a foil island, a treasure token, and an elemental token. Alright, so here is our pack. I am not interested in anything over here whatsoever, but there are several things over here that I would like to look at. To start, we've got some great options for removal. 2 of which exile creatures, which in this set is extremely relevant. There are multiple ways to bring things back from the graveyard, so just making sure that they can't be returned is pretty important. And then we've also got these 2 uncommons, which I am extremely interested in. We've got some excellent card selection, and potentially getting 2 cards off of this for just 2 mana, which is great. And then our sloth, representing a potential 8-point life total gap, which is wild and becomes very difficult to recover from. Plus, if you are extending into Mardu by meddling in Silverquill, then that life gain could be relevant for some other creatures you have. Not to mention all of your Lorehold creatures that care about cards leaving the graveyard. So there is a lot going on here for just a 4-mana creature. But looking at all of our options together, I think Flow State is the most powerful card that keeps us somewhat open at this point. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to locking into Lorehold, and I think the Sloth would be an excellent pick as well. But I think it makes sense to go with Flow State here and stay open to either Jeskai or Teamer, or any color pair therein. So that's what I would be taking from this pack, but let me know what you think. And I'll let you take a look at everything in here again. But yeah, let me know if we're aligned on Flow State, or if there's anything else in the pack that you would go with instead. Let's talk about it down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like button, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I put out new Magic the Gathering ASMR videos every Monday and Friday. I truly appreciate all of your support, and I hope you have a wonderful day.